So they're there with more paper than they can hold. I'm helping them hold it. We're carrying it over to the bloody... they didn't even take them into the thing. You had to feed them into a machine, which then counted up how many points you had and gave you like a little token, and you took it over. And when we did that... Well, I say all we got. It was, for once, it was actually quite decent. We got like a little money box thing, and then some random Disney thing, I think it was. But it was like, there was thousands there, and the prize must have been worth about £4. And you just thought, they must have made a fortune out of these places. It's just absolutely bizarre.
Talking of Disney, at the Seaside and Trading Standards again, did you see the Mickey Mouse with Goofy's ears?
Yeah. I actually thought, as I walked past it, I thought to myself, I wonder if I snuck there in the depth of night with a black marker pen and drew circles over those ears, would that place get shut down instantly? Because it was really bizarre. They had all the dwarfs there, didn't they?
Yeah.
All of the 7 dwarfs, and then a couple of other Disney characters with slight little malformations on them, and then just a weird Mickey with floppy ears.
Mickey was on there a couple of other times, but he was always wearing a hat. This was the only time Mickey didn't have a hat on.
It led me to the consideration as I was walking along, and you can tell that I've been on this show working with you too long on stuff, because I spent the next 15 minutes wondering whether Disney have like tiers of how much they let you, like you can pay them for the rights to their stuff, and if you want to pay for Mickey with floppy ears, you pay this much. If you want to pay for the actual Mickey but you call him Ricky, then you pay this much. You know, I just wondered whether there was like a point where you could pay Disney sort of £50 a year and just have that, what they had on that little board. And it just seemed, I'm wondering, because if I was as big as Disney, surely that'd be the right way to go, wouldn't it? Because not everyone can afford perfect Disney stuff, as we found on our first podcast.
We did. Last question is from Postman Gav. This one's actually a serious question. I don't think he understands the concept of this.
He's a postman, isn't he?
Exactly. Should people be allowed to take their dogs on beaches? Personally, I say no.
Well, I would, if you get dog poo all over yourself, wouldn't you? If you don't know, I think he's right. I mean,
did you even take your dog to the seaside with you?
Of course we didn't. She doesn't come out of us. She stays in the kitchen on hot days like that. But no,
I hate dogs.
Depends on the beach. I mean, there's some beaches you can take dogs to.
I don't mind you taking a dog on those beaches that have got grass on them. You never been to beaches with grass on?
No, don't think so.
They've got grass and they've got rocks and it's all a bit windy and there's cliffs. I'm probably thinking of one specific beach I went to as a child.
Have you ever been... You reminded me of a beach I went to as a child. And it might be childhood memories have made this a bit warm, but I'm sure I've been there as an older person, and it's been the same. Somewhere like Silver Sands, Camber Sands, somewhere like that, where there's a massive, massive, massive beach, but no sea.
That's probably not real.
It's like, if there is a sea, the beach is so big you can't see it from certain points of the beach. Maybe there are hills.
Well, when we went to Mablethorpe, that was a massive beach. It was like 2 miles out to sea from when we got on that beach. You remember that?
I do, so maybe that's the kind of one I'm thinking. Because I remember going to one of these with my parents, and the sand was still... The tide must have been out at some parts because it was still moist sand. It was very nice looking. I can see why they'd have called it something like Silver Sands, because it was still very sparkly. But I remember running to them from miles away, right, it seemed, and there just being no water at all.
Nice.
Just so, I want to know where that is. If someone can tell me that this week.
It's Hatfield.
Probably. I mean, people don't know about it, do they? I spent... Actually, I'm still spending 8 years. I've known my wife, nearly 9 years, and I've been trying my hardest to convince her that there is a beach in Hatfield, Hertfordshire. And there's no lakes or rivers in Hatfield, Hertfordshire, but I keep telling her, and I found a sign that says "This way to Hatfield Beach" on the internet, and I said to her, "There you go, I've proved it." And it's got to the point where I'm from in Grays, there is a beach. It goes to the Thames. It's awful. They tried to do like a nice little park on it and whatnot, but when we moved there, I told her, we'll go to Grays Beach, our daughter will love it. And she said, don't be a twat, don't start that again. I still don't believe you about Hatfield, but what I've tried to do, and it started to work, is I keep telling her she believes me, and after a while she starts entertaining the thought that it might be true. So one day I'm thinking that we'll just stumble across a beach there. It'll turn out there's some prehistoric beach underground.
It's under the Galleria. That's what the tunnel's for.
That's it.
Right, that's your lot for this week.
Gone quick.
It has gone quick. What I do need all you lovely listeners to do, though, is keep your topic suggestions coming in. We've got like 60 or 70 different topics in the spreadsheet now, and I did put it into random.org earlier on today. Can I have a drum roll? Because next week's topic that we need questions to come in from... wrestling.
I've only got one anecdote I can think of. I've got a week to carry on, but wrestling, eh?
Well, I'm gonna catch up on all my 80s videos. I've got WrestleMania 3 on VHS somewhere out in the garage. If I can find a video player, I'm going to watch Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant bash each other. They didn't really do much of the hitting with chairs back then, but I'm going to see if they did.
Did when I watched it.
Yeah, this was back in the 80s, though. Yeah, back in the 80s. I don't think chairs had been invented back then. Or certainly not chairs made of rubber that you could hit people in the face with.
Everyone probably stood in the 80s.
Exactly. Get those questions about wrestling into Best Thing From on Twitter, or email them in to kevinsteve@gmail.com. So that's questions on wrestling. Keep your topic suggestions coming in as well. We've had some brilliant ones on the spreadsheet. And the plan is, unless we have something specific to talk about, like in about a month's time we're doing one on theme parks, because I happen to be going to a theme park. But if we don't have anything specific to talk about that week, we're rolling the 68-sided dice, seeing what comes up. And this week it was wrestling. So keep all that coming in as well. On top of that, follow me on Twitter. I'm Lelujo.
I'm at RB6K.
And keep your iTunes reviews coming in as well. We've not even mentioned iTunes, have we? But we've been pretty much front page of the podcast section on iTunes all week. Had 20, 25 reviews. We've been top 20 on the comedy charts all week, front and centre on the comedy section on iTunes as well. So it's been going brilliant, and that's all because of the reviews and the subscriptions and all that stuff that you guys have done. So keep that coming in. Tell people about the show. We realise at the moment our listener base is probably mainly people who know us from our other show. So this is the one you can share with people who aren't into video games. So
if this is the first time, like, you've never heard our other shows and you've only known us from this one in the past 2 weeks, let us know that as well, because that would be awesome. I'd like that. It will be
awesome. And if you have stumbled across us and you do quite like video games, check out the Mature Gamer podcast as well. That's me and him talking a bit more specifically about video games on there. In fact, I might turn the mics off, put my change into my video game trousers, and we'll knock that one out in a minute, shall we? Yeah. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.